Hello everyone. So what we are going to do today is we are going to do something new, that is Power Pages. Okay, so I've been working on this for quite some time now, so I thought I'll make a video on Power Pages as well. So previously on this channel we have done Power Apps, Power Automates, which is the part of Power Platform, and Power Pages is also part of Power Platform, previously called as Power Portal, and Microsoft has now modified that to Power Pages. So what Power Pages essentially is like a web development through no code, low code, and we can have a website developed. There is a separate licensing that would be needed for anonymous users and authenticated users. Even though if you have already licensed users in your tenant, you still would have to have the license for Power Pages, right? So it won't make much sense if you're not going to expose this to external users or anonymous users. If you actually want to expose your data, your internal organization data, to anonymous users outside your organization, your tenant, then Power Pages would be something that you can look into, because this will be a good graphical design that we can create just like a website, and it will have the URL as well, the domain specific URL, and you can, just like any other website, give it to any users and they can just put it in the browser and they will be able to see the page. So your internal data which you want to reflect to anonymous users so that they can go through across it, this would be a good way to do it. The licensing for anonymous users is also there, though they mainly get what do you say, the cost is for anonymous users, also licenses there, and how they get to know whether it's the same user who's logging in is through the cache browser, right? So that is how Microsoft is doing. So this was a brief intro about Power Pages, its licenses, and what essentially Power Pages is. So if you want to come to Power Pages, it is make.powerpages.microsoft.com, right? If already it's included in your license, you will reach to a page similar to where I am, or if not, then you can always use a trial license and have the Power Pages page. So once we are on the page, we have two options whether to start it with the template. So they have a predefined templates which can be used to design the website, or we can start from blank. So the purpose of this video is not to go that much into the out of the box component that is available for Power Pages through Microsoft, because there's not much, right? I will show one or two and you will see the other options as well when I demonstrate that, but there is essentially not much of the options available. So the video is going to be focused mainly on the web template as a component that is being provided, and that is through coding. We have a carousel, card, right? So mainly we'll focus on the carousel for this video, and maybe cards in some other video. Okay, so we will be designing a carousel uh, on the Power Pages, which is nothing but a website, right? So that is the idea for this video. So let's get started. So I will start from blank. Okay, so now let's name this site. So I'm going to name it as demo, and it will be, so you can see the site name is showing as a demo.power-app-portals. So as I said, that Power Pages was previously the Power Portals. So demo is not available. So demo 1 2 3. Demo YouTube 1 2 3. Okay, so we have this, so we'll use this demo YT 1 2 3. powerpagesportal.com. Language English, yeah, that, that. So it will take some time to create that. Once it has created, it will show up in your active site like this. So previously I have these two as well. This registration is through template, but as you can see, this is saying getting your site ready. So one thing that I've noticed while working on a Power Pages is there's not much option if you're looking for a more UI based approach through out of the box component that is available, right? And even though it is part of no code low code solution of Power Platform, it is mainly like a viable option is more towards the coding that you would have to do. So there's a lot of coding that we have to go through for using Power Pages. So in my opinion, I would not place the current how Power Pages are functioning as a low code or no code solution. They're definitely not no code or low code in the current way that they are functioning. There's a lot of coding that we have to use, right? So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can essentially use that. The background what Microsoft is using is Bootstrap, so that can be used. But as I said, not much of no code, low code. So if you are not into coding that much, I would not recommend you to start with Power Pages. Okay, so we have two options, edit or preview. I will directly click on edit because I'll show you the preview anyways afterwards. Okay, so here we are on the home page. So the different options that we have here. So this is the header, and we are on the home page. This is the footer, as you can see. So we can change uh, here. We can click on edit side, and I can give a name. So let's put so I'll just, and we can upload an image. Okay, so I've uploaded an image, changed the site title, right? The site logo I've put as any image, right? You can disable it as well, right? And then there is the styling option. You can select the color, change the layout. So for now I'm going to let it be like that. So this is a demonstration of what the how you will change the component on the home page, right? So in here you can add pages, and once you do that, right, so let me add one page, write it down as secondary page. I'm going to keep it blank. So if I do this add page to main navigation, it will be added to the main navigation, and if I remove this checkbox, then it will not be there in the main navigation. So what I mean by there being there in the main navigation. So you see here with home, now we have a secondary page also there. So that has been added, home and secondary page, right? I can anytime move it to other pages and then it will not be there in the navigation. I think a preview can be done for you to see how this looks, but before we do, let's put something in the body. So this is the header that I was talking, and similarly footer, you can change this text what is written there. Right, so the options that we have and the out of box option that I was talking about, which are not much, are the text. You can put a button, image, video, form, multi-form, list, Power BI report that you might have space between and or an iframe component. So this is pretty much it, right? uh, Let me put a component. So main component carousel. Okay, and yeah, so see this, I'm changing the layout. This is one text component. Let me add another below that. Give a description of the text. Carousel will reflect some content along with the background image, and the slides will move over with time. Okay, right. For here, let's put an image. So again, let's upload one from the system. And we have the image. If I want to change some, so let's make this as bold, right? And then you see other options also you have for styling. If you want background color, shadow, border, right? If I see border, so I can change the color of the border that we just gave from here, right? So let me make it black. Okay, and then we click on this preview button on desktop home that got added to the secondary page. Okay, so as you can see, right, the text component, the description, and the image. All right, so let me just click on sync once, so it will sync everything, and let's go for preview one more time. Okay, so currently it is not showing the logo and the site title properly. That it will show. There's might be some issue that we can fix afterwards, but let's focus on the video content. So what we are going to do is, so there's a web templates that we can add, and this is the article, right? So web templates has component, so we can add different web templates, right? Locating listings with map, carousel display, gallery of images or videos, right? And if you see, we have display product review has cards, display location has cards, display records has carousel. So for this one, we are mainly focusing on display records has carousel. like this. There will be a background image, some headers, some tags, and you can arrow keys will be there, and you can move between the slides, right? So how we can do this, and as I mentioned in the starting of the video, that this is code intensive. So in here I'm going to do this on the secondary page, so you can see with a component already out of the box placed. Below that we will add this. So we have this Visual Studio Code here, which will open up, right? So I will click on this, open Visual Studio Code, and in the browser it will open up an online version of Visual Studio Code. So we will make the changes there itself, and I will click on allow, sign in, and we are signed in. Okay, so it shows us all the different files, right? We have a content snippet. I will have a demonstration on that as well, what that is. We have web pages, so currently we have home page, not found page, right? Then there's a search, profile, and a secondary page that we created, and different web templates as well. The coding for the header and footer, right? If you see, those are placed in here. So we are going to do in this one secondary page. So this coding that you see already is for the component that we have placed, right? The text component, here it is, the main component carousel, and then the description that I've written, right? So that is here. Below this we will add our carousel. So we will just call the carousel here. The main coding and everything for the carousel is going to be in the web template. So we will create a web template and put the coding there, right? So in this, how we will do this is we will go to the portal management and create a new web template for this website. This is the design studio, and from design studio there are limited option. If you want to go more into the options, then you have the portal management, from where there are more set of options that are controlled. I mainly work from the Visual Studio Code online one, right? But for the web template I have to create that web template here so that it gets reflected in there. I've tried creating in the web studio as well, but it does not sometimes reflect there. So nothing much, we will click on this and we will have our name for this is demo YT carousel is what I'll name this, and the website where we are going to have this is obviously the demo YT123, and here we are going to put the code, right? So web template has, so this is the code. Let's copy this and put it here, right? Okay, so I'm going to make changes to this, but for now I'm going to save it. The changes that I'm going to make, I'm going to make it from the Visual Studio Code. All right, so we have saved it. So there's one more component to this, and that is that this works essentially like how a model driven app also works in the background, with the data being in the Dataverse. So all the data that is going to come in to the PowerPages has to be in the Dataverse. Okay, so we will have to create a Dataverse table which will have the component. Okay, before we do that, so we have saved this. Let's go to the Visual Studio Code. Let me refresh it. Okay, under the web template section we will have, there it is. Okay, so if you see in the coding, right, it does fetch XML from a Dataverse table, right? We currently don't have that Dataverse table uh, created, so let's create a Dataverse table. We will have the attribute by the name. There will be one name, address and image that it wants. So this is in this they are reflecting, if you see the location of that in a carousel, name and address, and then but we are going to do a bit different. So let's create the table. Demo YT carousel. Okay, this will be the name. Let this be the column. We'll name this, and then let's have a multiple choice column, which will be, we will have a description. We'll name that. And for the background image, we will name it carousel image, and the data type would be image, and save it. All right, so let's have some content. So let's put in here Power App. My description: to create apps within the organization, right? And one more, Power Automate, to automate the process such as an email being sent in SharePoint list item is created. And all right, so image, as you can see, I cannot add that here. I will first would have to create this. So let's create. Okay, so our Dataverse table is created. We'll go to the data, and you can see this is still graded out. This is going to remain graded out. You cannot add the image directly from here, rather you would have to use the edit row using form. And once you click on it, even now also you will see that you are not able to see that particular column, right, and the description column, because they are not there in the view. So you would have to go back and form. My bad. Now we will add the columns that we need in here. So we need carousel image, we need description, and we will save and publish. So this is done. Let's go back. And now let's edit. Refresh is needed. And we have it here. So if you see now carousel image we have where we can upload, and I'm going to upload the two images. Save, close. We have that. From, save, close, save, done, done. And this is how we have our table. So the table is done, right? We'll take its logical name and we will change that with the entity name here. So the entity name of the table. Now we need the columns name as well. So in here, if you see under advanced, we need the logical name, right? So this will be the name for the description. So mainly if you'll see the schema name and the logical name, this is capital and this is small. So for all this purpose we need the logical name, so the small one. And the last is this column. So in here I have to show you one more thing. So see, we need to enable this can store full images. I'll right now not enable it so that you'll see how the images are coming, and once we see that then I will enable it so that you can see the differences. Okay, so we are done. We will do Control S. So we have created the table and we have made changes to the web template code for the carousel to include that table and the relevant columns. Obviously you can have more columns in here as well and do that as you wish. Now this 3 error that you see, let it be there, no issues. So in our secondary page, what we are going to do here, right, the next step is, so we have created the table, the web template is created and the right component is there in that. So the now next stage is that we include this into the secondary page where we want this component to reflect, because we can reuse this into multiple pages if we like, right? Because the web template is there, you just copy that code and call it onto any page that you want. So how we are going to do this is like this. So this is the liquid template that PowerPages uses. Percentage include the name of the web template, and this title, interval, count, height, you can leave that for now. Now if you wish you can put it there, but okay, so this is how we are going to include it. Since I'm putting it separately, what I am going to do here is I am going to put this into a class by the name of container, because bootstrap of the one that is used here use the container, so that this is within the same frame as the rest. Okay, this location slider is not the correct name for the web template. This is the web template name for us. Okay, and we don't want the title to be location, rather let's demo carousel. This is milliseconds, count 4, height 400, so you'll see what all that is. Okay, so Control S and that saves it. Now let's go to this, let's do sync and a preview. So we are not going to see it here, right, because there's one more thing which is missing, which is that we need to give permission of that table in here. So read, I'm going to keep it anonymous user, save. Okay, sync, and this then adds a carousel title demo carousel onto here. Okay, the image and the content is not shown, so let us check once. Why is that? So see, this component, unlike the other component where you have more control with the out of the box components, see paragraph, all that you can control, image layout, styling you can control. In this one the custom component, through the coding that we have added, we are going to get less control. So you can control the title, interval, count, right, that's the number of slides. So for us it's 2 slides, we'll make it 2. The slider height, so that's 500, interval is 6.5 milliseconds, right, so 6500 milliseconds or 6.5 seconds. So that is it. That is all the control that you will get here. Okay, so in the coding I've made changes to the entity name and the name, this description and the carousel image. So similarly, if you see, this needs to be changed, right, that's why we are not getting our component in there, because they are not getting called properly. So you would have to make the relevant changes everywhere. So I'm going to show the name and the description here, right, and the image that is getting called in here. Control S, and that should do it. Okay, so if you see, we have the content, right, the title and the description that we are able to see, but the image we are not able to see. Okay, so I faced some issue which I resolved. So this is the carousel, background image, text and description, right. My image quality is not that great. Okay, so in the coding in another environment where I've worked. I don't have to do this. That is the logical name after that underscore URL. But in this trial environment, I have to do this so that the image is coming up. Similarly, I've made that change here underscore URL, right? In the So I've created one more column. I was just testing, right? I have enabled in this option can store full images, right? Just the name of this column is carousel. So if you see, it is the name, right? In the coding, Microsoft coding, it is the name and then dot URL, right? And the name is just the logical name. There is no underscore URL, and this actually is working in one of the environments, right? Whereas for this one, I had to, instead of that dot, I have this underscore URL itself, and in the fetch XML, right, I had to do this underscore URL, and then the images were coming, right? Okay, so you can check both ways, just the Microsoft way. If it works out, if it not, you can check that underscore URL thing that I informed you, and that's how you can make a carousel. So if you see our page, this is out of the box component, text and images, and below that is our carousel, right? And that, as I said, is controllable through the Design Studio. You not much component, but you can control this title. You can change the title, the interval between the slides, how many slides, and the height of that slides, right? So if you see in the coding itself, that four factors that we are controlling is nothing but this manifest that they have added in here, and that is the one which is allowing us to change the title, the interval, the count, and the height. Okay, and just make sure that you change the entity name here as well. Okay, so that is all from my end from this video. I just wanted to show how we can create a carousel in PowerPages using the web template as a component, essentially the coding provided by Microsoft. Have a good day. Thank you.